Hello, 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 hello. Back again doing another Flight Sim Economy stream. Back in the Dash 8. This time we got a bit of a longer journey to do. We're looking good on the live. Let me get my chat up on my phone so I can see it a bit easier. And I don't want you on there. Okay. Perfect. Let's get live chat. Sweet. Right, yeah, so, hey Connor, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Or welcome back, I believe. You got in here quick. We've only been going for a minute. It's quite impressive. We're taking quite a long flight today. Let me show you the plan, if this is going to work. It is. So we're going from November Victor 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 to November Foxtrot Foxtrot November, which is 522 nautical miles. So quite far. We got quite a bit of cargo and just a few passengers. I should have loads of fuel on board. I've fueled it up to 1,000 gallons. And hopefully we'll make a decent bit of money out of it. But we'll see what happens. Oh, that should not be on there. Please don't tell me I've just shown anything. Oh, bollocks. No, I think I'm good. Whew. You're waiting on your A350 to download. Ah, okay. You just bought one, or is it a free one? Right, let's get in here. Now, I've set up shortcuts for views, so I'm going to be getting used to them a little bit. But let's get everything started here. So we'll get the engines running, or at least one of the engines, and then we'll load the passengers and cargo. How do we look on the stream? Yeah, it looks fine. Just bought it, it's taken a lifetime. Who's it provided by? Who have you bought it from? Let's get the generator on, and then we go down to the electricity panel. And then we can see that the APU gen is starting to fire up. And then the load comes off the batteries and they start charging up. Right. No, the APU flight factor. Ah, okay. Might have to check that out. APU is on. We'll get the bleed air open, because why not? Set the bleed air to minimum. Open up the intakes. Set our ignitions to normal. And then if we look down at the fuel, we can set this to fuel off. And then back up to start and feather. And I believe that's everything that we need to do. Down here at least. Let me just check. Let's get our beacon on. We'll check our position and our tail logo on as well, because why not? And we are ready for engine number 2 start. So you can start up engine number 2 with the passenger door open. Yeah, I'm hoping that's actually going to start. There it is. I can't hear it for some reason. Oh, there you go. Up it comes. There we go. So, now that engine number 2's started, we can go ahead and reset our view. Go to FSEconomy. We'll log in and pick up our passengers and cargo. Start flight. There we go. So we have 5,600 kilos of cargo on board and 11 passengers. It's a total cost or total fee of $37,000. So hopefully we'll make some good money on it. We can... I will leave the bleed air on for now, actually. And we will start engine number 1 after we've closed the passenger door. There we go. Door is closed and locked. Let's jump back inside and go for an engine number 1 and start. And then we can check our instruments and see the ITT rising. I should have actually been monitoring this on engine 2 start, but hey ho. See the oil pressure coming up. And there we go, a very nice start. We're in the green for pressure and temperature, and the ITT is recovering back to its idle state. Awesome, let's get our taxi lights on. There's no need for a pushback where we are at the moment. We'll chuck on the fasten seatbelts and the no smoking signs, and then we'll turn the bleed and the recirc on. And everything else, just doing a quick scan, looks fine. We get our pitos on, of course. Yeah, that looks about right. The warning lights that we've got is because our engines are currently in a low idle state. So if I hop back into this view, there we go, we can set our spoilers to taxi and then raise the prop RPM up to maximum for takeoff. Right, let's have a look outside. Those engines don't look great, I'll be honest. I hope it's just while we're sat here. The temperatures all look fine. Okay, not seen that before. If we have a look at this map, we're on a tiny little island. I got no idea where we're flying to. Somewhere off to the east. But taking a look at the layout, it is literally just one taxiway onto the runway. We're going to have to backtrack and then take off. And if we look at our wind display, currently there's nothing, so it doesn't really matter which direction we take off from. Let's jump ourselves outside, release the parking brake, and start taxiing onto the runway. One thing I do need to do is, yeah, my taxi light was on. I'm really not happy with those engines. I've not seen the Dash 8 do that before. Right, we're good on both finals. I'm going to taxi down to the right here. Just backtrack the runway. We might not make this journey. Let's have a look in the iOS. Failures, no failed systems. So apparently this is normal. Okay. Some aircraft don't Xplane do that. You have to go into the developer settings on startup and reduce the exhaust density. Tend to do that when the weather is clear. Ah, okay. Sweet. Well, at least it's normal. That's fine. As long as my engines aren't going to explode, I don't really care, to be honest. I've never seen that before. It might just be that I've always flown smaller aircraft and just not paid attention. get ourselves ready for the turn here. Use the turnaround space at the end. Coupled with a little bit of braking. Let's get our flaps down and jump back inside the aircraft. So I've already got it set into our FMS. We're just going to fly direct to our airport. Let's get that into the nav source like so. There's going to be a right hand turn out of here. We'll get our standby fuel pumps on and our standby hydraulic pumps. Set our spoilers to flight, turn on our landing lights, turn on our strobe, and we are good to go. Let's advance the power, slowly up to 100%, and then let the plane manage its power itself. There we go. And then we're looking for about 110 knots before we rotate. 100. Rotate. Up we come. Very good. Let's drop our gear away. And as soon as we get clear of the runway, I'm going to start my right hand turn. Right, let's begin that right hand turn over this island. It's a shame it's a bit overcast, but I am using the match real weather conditions. And we'll drop our flaps away now because we don't need those. Okay, we're looking pretty good. Set our pressurization to normal now, seeing as we're up in the air. My airspeed is a little bit high for a climb. We want to be climbing at about 160. But this plane's climb rate is absolutely insane. Let's set up our altitude at the moment. We're going to go up to 18,000, which I believe is the max altitude for this aircraft. There we go, that'll do. And we're mostly back on course now. We'll pick up the line in a minute. We're now IMC, so watching the instruments. I'm going to enable IAS mode, but I need to bring my speed down first. Let's go into maximum climb rate. That'll bring the prop RPM down, save us some fuel. And then when we hit about 160 knots, enable IAS. We'll chuck the altitude hold on now. Come on. Give me that 160. Oil pressures and temperatures are good. Hit the wrong button. There we go. Altitude select, autopilot on, and we will also enable the nav computer. Job done. Airplane flies itself now. I reckon this flight's going to take about an hour and 45 minutes. For those of you that weren't here at the beginning, I will show you what we are doing. There we go. So we are flying from November Victor 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 to November Foxtrot Foxtrot November, which is 522 nautical miles, just there. And we are charging a total of $37,000 with 11 passengers and like 5,700 kilos of cargo. Hopefully I've got enough fuel. It should be fine. As you can see just down here, if I get rid of that again, which I forgot to do for a second time. So yeah, as you can see on this display, we're picking up our red line again. We've gone through 10,000, so I'll turn off our landing and taxi lights now. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We can also get off our standby hydraulic and fuel pumps. I'm going to keep the power maxed out until we get up to our 18,000 feet. And then we'll bring it back and set for cruise. I think I might have hit the approach button by mistake. Nope. Nav, IAS. There we go, that's better. Now I'm not sure if our destination has got an ILS or anything like that. I haven't had a look into it. So when we get close, we'll see it on the map and we shall take a look. Just have a look at our electrics panel. Doing fine. The batteries aren't being discharged. The APU is running still. And we've got good power from both of our AC generators on our engines. Let's get the latest altimeter.
November 62890 November Whiskey Victor altimeter 3000.
Let's read that back, but we're on the correct altimeter. That's fine. We'll just leave it as it is. 1,000 feet to go. And then we're going to let our aircraft build up some speed and drop the power right the way back, because we need to reduce this pounds per hour. That's how much fuel we're burning. We currently have 2,700 pounds of fuel on board. Should be more than enough for our journey. There we are, leveling out at 18,000 feet. And like I mentioned, we'll let the aircraft build up some pace and then drop it back to about 60% torque. So I'm interested to know, do any of you guys fly FSEconomy? Or are you just here to see what it's about? Still don't know whether to spend the time creating a little group in FSEconomy for all of us to get together, maybe. Do a couple of group flights, potentially. There we go, we can now see our overspeed bars just coming in. These red lines, can't go any quicker. Just here to see what it's about, no idea. Oh, okay. So I can give a brief overview of how it works. Basically you just sign up on the website, you then get accepted. Like it took me a few days to get accepted, and then you search through different airports where you can rent aircraft, and they'll have different assignments that you can do, which is basically you move passengers and cargo around the world, and then that will give you money if you do it correctly. You've got to weigh up sort of how much you're going to be paid for doing the jobs versus how much the rent and the fuel is going to cost. And so if you do it correctly, you earn money. You can then go and buy your own aircraft, so you don't have to pay rent, but then you've got to look after them, and it's quite complicated, but it's from what I've seen already, it's quite rewarding, and it has very much kept me in with all the flight sim stuff. I definitely wouldn't have played as much as I do if I hadn't found Flight Sim Economy. Right, we seem to be at a fairly stable speed, so let's jump on the outside. Yeah, these engines really are smoking. I have never seen it do that before. You like the sound of that? The website, I don't know if it'll let me drop a link in, but it's... let me find out, because there's two different websites. There's one for signing up for it, and then there's one for when you actually have an account. So it's www.FSEconomy.net. I'll see if I can post a link. I should be able to. It's my own chat. Yeah, there you go. So you go into there, you create an account, and then you go to the forums where there's a new user bit, and you can put in a new user. Like I said, for me it took a couple of days, but then they send you your email, your password in an email. Just make sure you change it. Cool, no worries. I do love the look of this aircraft. I should have picked a different skin though. We flew with this skin last time. Right, let's have a look inside, see how we're doing. We're not over speeding, which is good. Oil pressures and temperatures are good. We got loads of fuel. And we are expected to arrive in 1 hour and 15 minutes. So if you guys have got any questions, fire away, I guess. And we'll just sort of see where it goes. Yeah, we are stable at 280 knots. That's good. That's what I want. This aircraft has no auto throttle capability, so you've got to set it yourself. This job took me a very long time to find. I think I spent about 25-30 minutes trying to find an airport with a decent paying set of jobs and a Dash 8. Basically, you can search by airports that have a Dash 8 that is rentable, and then you just have to go through every single one and try and make your mind up whether you can make enough money to have the flight be worthwhile. Which is quite interesting. It takes a little while to get used to. I'm hoping we'll make $15,000 from this flight. Somewhere in that region. Now, I can't remember what the rent is on this aircraft. It is $8,000 per hour. So I reckon we will have it for about an hour and a half by the time we get on the ground. So that's 12,000. We then got to pay for the fuel on top, so that's probably about another 3,000. So yeah, about 15k should be about the profit for it. The only thing that I found with this aircraft is at most airports you get stung massively with fees. Like the booking fee on the last flight that I did before the stream, just to get myself warmed up, was $8 grand just for the pleasure of landing. And then you've got to pay for your crew, and yeah. It's a lot to account for. Although in that first flight I did make 10 grand. So if we do make 15 for this flight, that'd be 25 grand in a night. Makes me pretty happy. The cheapest Cessna that I found is for 160,000, and I'm currently at 78,000. So just under halfway there. I was hoping that by this weekend I'd have a a Cessna ready to go. I just didn't have enough time to play it as much as I wanted this week. Just have to make up for it over the weekend, I guess. Right, jump back in and check again. Why are these not working? Because you haven't got Xplane selected. There we go. 281.5 knots. We are making a ground speed of 386. Quite impressed with that. We got a nice 20 knot tailwind, and we're burning 960 pounds per hour still. Awesome, there's nothing really much to do in here. We have got a weather radar on, there's nothing out in front of us, and that matches what we can see. What is our temperature right now? Outside air temperature is -19. So if we do fly through any clouds, we've got to be careful of picking up some ice. I can't see the strobe light flashing for whatever reason. Oh yeah, there it is. Probably don't actually need the logo light on right now. Tail logo off. There's not that many people going to see our logo when we're at 18,000 feet cruising. The amount of smoke that's pouring out of these engines makes me kind of nervous. And I will just say, I noticed in my last stream... Whoa, hello. That track's a bit loud. Yeah, my last stream, like, massive portions of it were muted because I had shortcuts set up to mute and unmute my microphone, and it was the same shortcuts that I was using to alter my altitude assignments for the autopilot. So yeah, completely screwed that up. So yeah, for like 20 minutes or so I was answering people in the comments, and yeah, it was just completely muted. I got quite annoyed at myself for that one, but now they're deleted and I'm still paranoid, so I keep checking. Alright, let's have a look at these groups. Oh, okay, it doesn't seem too bad. Okay, apparently my YouTube name already exists within a group. Alright, I thought that was fairly unique. There we go. Okay, so we do have a group now. So yeah, if you guys are into FSEconomy and you want to join up a group, I've made one called James L Plays YT. So you should be able to find that in the list. Now bear with me, because I have got a sort of get used to how it works. And what I can do with groups and how we sort things out. Okay, so I guess I can take on jobs for the group to do, and then anyone in the job can do that. That seems pretty good. So if I find some like decent paying jobs, but I don't really have time to do them there and then, you just add them to the group, and then anyone can just pick them up and go ahead and do them. And then if I wanted to, I could add a pilot fee, so a certain amount gets put into the group. And then I can just pay group, I assume. Pay to flight group, so I would imagine whatever I pay to that gets split amongst all the members. Yeah, so pay a total of X to selected members. Or invite a new member, or send an email to all members. Ah, fairly cool. Well, we'll have to see how that works in a bit more detail, if and when people start joining up. How are we doing? 277 knots with a 381 ground speed, and we're burning £865 per hour, so our fuel usage has gone down, which is fantastic. Don't think there's much else I need to do. I've still got an hour to go. 411 nautical miles. Now I have overfueled slightly, which is a bit annoying because it means I'm just carrying around extra fuel for no reason. But never mind, better to be safe than sorry. I didn't realise, because obviously you fill in gallons, and then this shows you it in pounds. So I could have done the conversions, but I was lazy and I wanted to actually take the assignments there and then so that nobody else grabs them. Because if somebody grabbed just one of the assignments, it wouldn't have been worth the cost. So I had to get all 4 assignments. This is my longest flight sim economy flight. I've never done one this long before. I've been going 35 minutes already, and obviously we've still got just over an hour to go. So yeah, if you guys are interested, I didn't realise there was an invite mechanic. So if you are in Flight Sim Economy, let me know your username. Whoa! Weather update, there we go. Good old Xplane. So yeah, if you are part of FSEconomy and you want to have an invite to the group, just let me know your username, and I'll get you added. I do find it weird when Xplane updates its weather. It just basically takes out the entire layer and then rebuilds it chunk by chunk. Quite strange. Are we just completely over the ocean right now? Zoom all the way out. Not quite, but we will be soon. So we took off from November Victor Victor Victor, and then we performed a turnout, and now we're just flying directly across to our destination. I actually want to get this up on a Google map so that we can see what it looks like. So this is, we took from Bowerfield, Port Vila in, oh my god, Vanuatu? Yeah, Vanuatu, something like that. Just pull this up and show it to you. Vanuatu. Which is, oh okay, it's out in the Coral Sea, just off of Australia. And then if we have directions to, and we are landing at, oh, we're landing in Fiji. Awesome. That should be a fairly spectacular landing then, I would hope. Oh, when you look at it on a map, it really doesn't look that far. Let me show you this. Window capture, there you go. Oh, you can't see it because of the scaling. That doesn't help. That helps. There we go. So we're going from here, yeah, that place, to Nadi in Fiji. And then when you look on the big scale of things, it's just a tiny little flight. But apparently, in real life, that would take you 5 hours and 20 minutes. So I have no idea what kind of plane they're flying, but I mean, you could probably get a boat across it in less time than 5 hours and 20 minutes. You might have to divert via somewhere. Apparently YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I haven't dropped a single frame. And the settings have been the exact same for the last 2-hour stream that I did and the last 40 minutes. Let me know if you guys are getting some buffering issues, because YouTube seems to think that you are, even though OBS says everything's fine. Let's take a look inside the cockpit once again. Oil temperature, pressure good. It's getting slightly warmer outside, and we're burning 860 pounds per hour, so that's still dropping. Nothing at all good here, not buffed once. Oh, okay, fair enough. It's just YouTube going crazy, I guess. 277 knots, that's perfectly fine, we're not overspeeding. And how's our pressurization? Should have looked at that a bit sooner, I guess. Seems to be fine. Can't really read that properly. I don't know if that's actually cabin temperature. Looks like it might be. Do we even have a cabin altitude gauge in here? You'd think it would be in here. Probably quite a useful thing to have. Oh, yeah, of course, right here. So our cabin altitude is at 5,000 feet, just under, which is perfectly fine, breathable, and we're not pumping because obviously we've leveled out. Awesome. Hi Davin, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. I don't know where you guys are from, but if you're from the UK, you know what I'm going to talk about last week. The ridiculous heat wave. Davin, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, we had a ridiculous heat wave last week. It was so hot. It just reminded me because the amount of heat that my PC's putting out right now is quite insane. You're from Ireland. Oh, okay. I'm assuming you have the same sort of thing then. I'm just going to turn my fans up a bit. There we go. From Leeds. 30. Yep. I saw 33.5 in my car, so in reality it was probably about 31 where I am. It's just insane. Didn't get a heat wave, instead got lots of rain. Oh. That's a bit pants. I mean, I'm not a fan of the heat, I'll be honest. Like, low 20s I can cope with, but anything over 25 and I just melt. I just cannot deal with it. You go to work in a nice air-conditioned office, and then you walk outside to just a complete wall of heat. Yeah, I can't deal with it. Maybe I should move to Ireland and just deal with the rain. I like rain. I can deal with rain. Although I did manage to go some power boating last Tuesday. That was quite fun. No, trust me, you don't want to move here. Oh, okay. I'd love to visit Ireland one day. Is it just rain, rain, and more rain all the time? I wish I could see more of the ground. This cloud cover's not breaking. Oh, I guess actually it's just the sea beneath us. Yeah. Unless you're planning to fall into a deep depression, then this place would be a good... Oh, okay. Maybe we'll rethink that then. Yeah, actually, look, I just noticed when I was looking that back on the stream, I'm almost following an airway. I'm just off of it. But... So if I was doing this properly, I guess I'd be going the same direction. Just a few kilometres that way. Hopefully we'll come over some land soon, and that should break up some of the clouds. But yeah, no, I'd definitely like to visit Ireland at some point. I'd also like to go to a few of the Scandinavian countries as well. Oh, should not press my rudder pedals. Let's jump back in. I completely forgot they were down there. We are still on LNAV, we're still on out, and our speed is fine. Just kidding, Ireland is beautiful. I grew up in Donegal. We have amazing scenery, airport, and 2 hours in Taiwan. Oh, okay. Heck, I may as well download the Ortho XP scenery and fly into there then at some point. Yeah, that's why I want us to go to Ireland, is because of the scenery. Yeah, everyone says just how beautiful it is there. I'd love to check out some of the lakes and rivers, take a boat out. Boating's sort of my thing, other than playing games and flying. Flying in a simulator, not in a real life, of course. I wish I could. Bloody expensive. Yep, just sea, and more sea at the moment. And it's going to be like that all the way until we land in Fiji. Which should hopefully look pretty good. If I had more time and planned this a bit better, I would have downloaded the ortho scenery for Fiji and Vanuatu. It seems we've got a couple of new people in here. I will just recap what we are doing. Window capture. So, we have taken off from November Victor, which we pop over here, is Vanuatu International Airport. And then we are flying down to Nadi in Fiji, which is November Foxtrot November, and we currently have 11 passengers and like 5,700 kilos of cargo in total, which is giving us an income of $37,000. See the orbit accent doesn't do it. Oh, okay. Yeah, thinking about it, it is. Oh, I've done it again. There we go. It's just based on like Bing Maps or Google Maps. So if they haven't got really good pictures of it, it doesn't make a difference. Let's have a look at the satellite imagery. On Google Maps, the images look pretty good. So if you set the Ortho XP to mimic Google Maps, it'll be alright, I'd assume. I may have to redo this flight one day when I'm not using FSEconomy, just to see how it looks. Or unless you're on about Ireland, that would make more sense. Yeah, sorry, I've just completely yeah. I forget that the stream is behind. Have a look at the satellite imagery. County Donegal. Yeah, I will download that scenery at some point. Probably tomorrow night, because I'm not planning on streaming tomorrow night. I might end up streaming anyway, but I haven't really planned. Oh, actually no, I'm going out tomorrow afternoon, so I'll do it while I'm out tomorrow afternoon. I've currently got the bottom half of the UK. Hey, how did you kill the time during can't do anything over an hour? I do this. I stream. I chat to people. That's pretty much it. I am on. Let's see how long we got left. We have 47 minutes left and 300 nautical miles. Yeah, you're watching what I do to kill time. Oh, when I'm not streaming, if I'm honest, I normally walk away from the computer and either go do something else, or I'll chuck on a YouTube video. Like when I'm not streaming, I'm normally watching YouTube videos all the time. From like the moment I wake up, obviously go to work, can't watch them at work, but then when I get home, it's YouTube straight on, either streaming or watching videos. Sort of leave the game running in the background. It runs in borderless windowed mode, so but yeah, if I need to sort of get up and walk away, I know the autopilot's set, the speed is set as it should be, so I just go and hope that my airplane isn't in pieces when I get back, pretty much. A little bit of my green screen up here is really starting to annoy me, and I'm hoping now that I've pointed it out it'll really start to annoy you as well. And try and fix it. Okay, that didn't help in the slightest. Absolutely nothing to do here at night. I don't even see why they have a night shift here. Apart from a few military about their streams. Oh, okay, fair enough. So what are you up to right now? I guess... Do you work in an airport? Is that the vibe I'm getting from that? Let's try and sort out this bloody... Change the brightness maybe? No. Ooh. You're currently flying Denver to Eagle County. Have you? Yeah, the clouds are airside operations at Shannon. Wow. Fair play to you, sir. Yeah, my clouds are slightly boring. I'm sorry. I'm using real weather, so we get what it looks like. But to be fair, if the clouds weren't there, you'd be looking at ocean. So, you know. When we come in for an approach into Fiji, we should see some actual land, some civilization. I'll quite often fire up live ATC as well in the background. Them engines don't look very healthy, look like you move aerofly. Yeah, that's what I said at the start, but apparently, I mean, as Connor was explaining earlier, it's just a visual bug in Xplane. So when you're flying in the clear weather conditions, as it calls it, it over-exaggerates the exhaust. But apparently it's completely normal. If I open up the instructor operator station, you can see there's no failed systems. So it means everything's fine. So yeah, I guess we're alright. One thing I will do is grab the altimeter.
November 62890, November Foxtrot, Foxtrot, November altimeter 2988.
And read that back.
November Foxtrot, Foxtrot, November altimeter 2988, November 6.
Because that's quite a big difference to what we had in there before. But that is our destination altitude, or destination airport barometer. 2988. Come on, get the corner. No, it's not going to let me. Let's just scooch over into the co-pilot seat. Or I guess, would that be the pilot seat? Or, well, pilot in command. There we go. 2988. Sweet. All looking good up there. Let's check our engine instruments. All looking fine. Still got loads of fuel. The temperature's rising. And 41 minutes till we land. Maybe I can get a little bit more power on. We'll go up to 69% torque. Such a sensitive throttle. Oh, there we go. 68 will do. Try and just get a little bit more speed out of this thing. It won't make too much of a difference at all. Maybe just a few seconds either way. I think this route probably is more suited to a traditional jet engine aircraft, but I don't think the airports are, because I know definitely taking off from Vanuatu, the runway was quite short. I know you can get short takeoff jets, but yeah, it was quite impressive. I'm not sure of the runway length here in Nadi either. I'll try and have a look. There's all the departures. Operating procedures, yeah, it's fine. Oh, actually, no, the airport in Nadi is quite big. So yeah, you'd definitely be able to do that. You've got one that's 2 kilometers and one that's 3.2 kilometers. Wow. That means they've probably got an ILS landing or ILS approach. So we'll try and hook into that when we get a bit closer. There's a few breaks in the cloud, and like I mentioned, we can just see ocean. There's some big flames, yeah. I thought it'd just be like a tiny little regional airport, but no, it is quite a massive international airport. Right, the ATIS is apparently 127.9 according to the charts, so it's not necessarily what it'll be in game, but we'll get that in. There we go. And the tower is going to be 119.1. So we'll get that in our backup. Not that it really matters because the the autopilot, or sorry, not the autopilot, the air traffic control in this game is absolutely terrible. By far the worst thing about this simulator. I remember someone had a go at me about that in my YouTube comment section. Calling it a game, not a simulator. Got to go flight going in, got to do runway inspection, stuff like that. Strewn after this flight? No. When we land, that's going to be it for me. Seeing as it's currently 10 past midnight, I've been at work all day, so yeah, I need to get some sleep. But thanks for hanging out. Good luck with your runway inspection. I'm sure it's just run of the mill, but yeah, thanks for hanging out. I hope to see you next time. See ya. So we got about, I think that was 36 minutes left, it just said. Which one of my buttons is it? There we go. Yeah, 36 minutes. 35 minutes now. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we do actually make a profit on this. And hopefully it's in the sort of 15 grand region. If I do manage to get some good time to spend in it tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon, should possibly be able to afford my own Cessna by the start of next week or middle of next week, something like that. Depends what else goes on. Right, everything's still looking absolutely fine. We've not flown through any clouds, so we shouldn't really need to think about icing. Although Xplane does give you a good job of warning you about icing if you forget. I think I might have just knocked the throttle then. No, we're still good. Still good indeed. No throttle knocking here. You know what? I might do one more flight after this. Just a short little flight. From Shannon to... where are we? Just across the water. It's another water flight there. And it being a Cessna, so that's probably... No, that's going to take about another hour to do, so I don't really have time for that. It looks like this cloud is somewhat at our level. We're not painting anything on the radar just yet. But if we go through it, I'm going to have to turn on some of the anti-ice. And we've broken through the 200 nautical mile mark. We've got 197 to go now. 30 minutes. Yeah, it looks like we are going to scoot through this. I actually need to go and grab a drink. I can feel my voice starting to go. So, yeah, by the time we get back, we should be just about going through these clouds. So, give me 2 minutes, and I will be back. Okay, well, we're not in a big ball of flames, so I guess we did alright. Let's have a look inside. Engine temperatures, pressures are good. All my generators are running. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. How long we got left? 25 minutes. Just reloaded the weather there. Can we see it now? No, but it looks like we're getting close. It looks like a lot of these airways are converging. And there's a single island just up in that top corner. Hopefully there's quite a nice timely break in the clouds so that we can see that. I'm pretty sure the map shows you a 100 nautical mile area. So once you get within 50 nautical miles you should see the airport on the map. I think. Might be wrong. Plane is still smoking like an absolute trooper. There's a few Blakes in the cloud? Breaks in the cloud. Any little islands that I can see? No, it's still quite a way out. Check our fuel situation, £19,000. And yeah, we're going to be landing quite heavy, I think. Because I refueled way too much. We probably could have had a bit of a cheaper flight if I didn't put so much fuel in. Never mind, eh? Like I said earlier, I had no idea. I didn't want to sit there doing the gallons to pounds conversion, so I just put in 1,000 gallons and hope for the best, really. Guy outside revving his engine like a muppet. Managed to scare myself then. Right, 135 nautical miles, 20 minutes. still feel like I can eke a bit more speed out of these engines. It's got a 70% torque. Just try and absolutely nail that red line. We've got 389 knots ground speed at the moment. We'll give that a little while to catch up and see what happens. Oi! Hi Maria, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, we gained a few knots. Land at Eagle Coast, it's me done for the night. Have a great look. That's pretty good. Okay. Thank you very much, Ian. Thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out. Hope to see you again. Alright, we should be loading some new scenery pretty soon here. So yeah, it looks like we gained about 4 knots of ground speed out of that. Which probably isn't worth it for the amount of fuel burn, but yeah, whatever. Brings us up to 280 knots, so it's a fairly round and even number. This is the Flight J-Sim -8 Q400. I will point out that I think there's 2 or 3 versions of it, just in case anyone was wondering. I think it's quite nice. It's quite a nice aircraft. Most things seem fairly functional with it, and you get the operating handbook in the file as well, which is, I guess you could call it, an interesting read. Quite informative, just tells you everything about the plane. I'm pretty sure the max cruise altitude is 18,000 feet, which is what we're up to at the moment. The modelling looks okay. I mean, there's a few things, like, I'm guessing these are the APU exhausts. Obviously they're just flat textures. So I sort of wish that was a bit more detailed. And things like this access door here is obviously just a picture laid out. So yeah, some things could be improved, but I like these stabilizers and the radio antennas. They look really good. I love the fact that they've actually got these static dischargers, the little pylons. They look great. I believe, yeah, there is some on the ends of the wingtips as well. There we go. Just so that a massive static charge doesn't build up in the wings and the whole aircraft. You can still see just nothing but clouds. Tell you what, when I get one of these next ones, I'm going to make sure it's over land. How are we doing on our cabin altitude? We're still just under under 5,000. Which is pretty good. Oh, there we go. Hey, Lyndon, thank you very much. For some reason, I got the email before the alert thing came through. I was very confused. I thought I'd missed an alert, but no, apparently the email was just instantaneous. But thank you for subscribing anyway. Very much appreciated. And if you do fly in FSEconomy, let me know, because I've got a group set up, so I can add you to the group if you want to be part of the group. It's up to you, of course. Right, we should be getting close to visual range. Oh, there we go. Right, we got it on the map. So, if we take a look down here, what do we have? We have no ILS. Wow, I thought it would have an ILS for an airport that big. Okay, so visual approaches only, which is alright, we can deal with that. Let's have a look. So it's 59 feet sea level, so that's no factor. We got the weather info on 1279, so they've mimicked the actual real frequency, which is good. We're on the right altimeter, and 119.1 is for the approach. Where am I flying to? I am flying to Fiji. So let me show you the flight. We bring open. Oh, I've closed it. Damn it, maps. We are flying from a place called Vanuatu, and we are going down to Nadi in Fiji. So, window capture. So that's what you can see here. So Vanuatu, yeah, we are then flying across the Pacific to Nadi. It looks like a tiny little flight. It's about an hour and a half flight time. In this Dash 8 at least. And if I show you this one, yeah, you can see we are going from November Victor 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 to November Foxtrot Foxtrot November, which is 522 nautical miles, and we are earning $37,000 for the pleasure. This one, there we go. So yeah, it should be quite a nice landing in Fiji, hopefully. Right, I've got to think about my descent, because I'm up at 18,000 feet. And we have 10 minutes to go at this current speed. So I need to drop back on the throttle. Quite significantly, actually. And we'll go into altitude select. Down to 3,000 feet. Like so. Altitude select, vertical speed, nose down. And we want about 1,600 feet per minute will do. And we just got to make sure that we don't go over speed. And drop the torque all the way back. But you've got to be careful in this aircraft, because if you go too far back on the throttle, you'll go into reverse mode. Which is better, the 787 or the A350? If I'm completely honest, I don't know. I haven't flown either of them. The only aircraft that I've got access to is the base game Xplane 11 aircraft plus this Dash 8. Xplane 11 is my first sort of introduction into flight sims, so I haven't had a lot of experience. So sorry, but I can't answer that question. Someone earlier was talking about an A350 that they were enjoying. Can't remember exactly who that was. Oh, it was Ian. So yeah, I was looking at... yeah, I'm going to look at the A350. But with the current Steam sale that's on, I might end up buying a bunch of other games. So my attention from Xplane might be diverted a little bit. So not P3D, no, I haven't used P3D before. Like I said, the only real flight sim that I've used in is Xplane 11. I used to play some of the flightsim.org, the open source project thing. But that was a while ago. I really need to get a wriggle on this descent. I've got 9 minutes to go and we're still up at 14,000. P3D version 4 is amazing. Okay, I'll have a look at it. Oh, here we go, we're getting the weather now, we're close enough. Wind light and variable, cool, so don't need to worry about that. 2800 few, 5000 broken. Cool, and we have information Romeo. Let's go over to the approach frequency. So, prepare 3D version 4. I guess it would be the academic license that I go for. There's no way I'm shelling out the equivalent of $200 for a professional license. I mentioned a group before. Yeah, in FSEconomy, I literally just created a group called James L Plays YT. So if you use FSEconomy, I think you can either search and find it or let me know your username and I can invite you. Right, we passed through 10,000 feet, so we'll get our landing and taxi lights back on, and we'll chuck our tail floodlight back on as well. And our speed limit has just come in for 10,000 feet. Luckily we're below that though. Let's go into IAS mode on 260 knots so that we don't go above. So it's going to try and hold our indicated airspeed at 260, and now even that is too quick. So I need to go back into vertical speed and decrease that. So we are currently over speeding. Come on, bring the nose up please. Sweep down. We'll drop it down to about 240 if we can, and then go into indicated airspeed mode. There we are. We have 6 minutes till we hit our airport. Got some blustery wind. There's no storms painting on the weather radar yet, but we do have some visible moisture. But the temperature's back way up over freezing, so we're fine. This will be a visual landing because they don't have any sort of instrument system. And I haven't worked out how to use the GPS in this, if you even can. I'd love to see this thing get the Xplane 11 G530 modelled into it, rather than the FMS that it's got currently. Well, because while it may be authentic, the G530 looks a bit better. So in that slight bug, I saw the islands in front of us. We've got some craziness going on in these clouds right now. See our true airspeed flying around quite wildly. Let's bring up the charts for that airport again. Oh wow, there it is. Jeez, okay. We may have to circle a little bit to reduce some altitude. So the airport is right there, I believe. The aircraft is diving. No, that's just a normal road. Where is the airport then? Or is it on a different island? No, it is straight in front of us. Oh no, it is on a different island. It's a bit further ahead. There we are. So yeah, we're perfectly fine. We're going to be down at our target altitude. We've got 500 feet to go. So yeah, let's try and get that chart back up again that I had up earlier. So we are going to land on... It said they were arriving on 09, so we'll land there. Which is on a bearing of 091 degrees. So we'll get that put in on our course. Oh, sorry, on our heading. 09, 091. There we go. And that looks like it's going to be alright for wind. I'd prefer to be landing on 2-0. That's more favourable for the wind, but we'll just see how we do. The airport, so I can see the runway just there, that's the long runway. We're going to be coming in on the slightly shorter runway. And now the fog's rolled in, so we can't really see anything. Alright, let's watch our speed, make sure we're not stalling. But of course we need to bleed off some energy. Because we still have far too much at this point. Yeah, that's the runway we're landing on. So instead of following the FMS, I'm now actually going to take over on heading assignments. Let's go for heading. Just to try and line up an approach. And I'm going to drop our altitude down to 2,000. Like so. We'll give it a bit more power now. Now that we've dropped off, so we don't have to be holding the nose up so much. And we'll descend a bit quicker. Not at 2,500 feet a minute though. That would be a bit crazy. So when we get lined up with the runway, we'll just do a heading of 091.
2,500.
It's 2,500 from the radar altimeter, so we know that's working. Why can't I hear myself? Because my phone, for whatever reason, is playing that. You're there just for chat, my friend. You're not for playing sound. Alright, let's begin a turn in. Need to bring that speed back down again, but not go into reverse like I always do. Alright, let's start a turn in. There we are. Let's pop some flaps. We're below 200, so we can go for a 5-degree flap. We are very high. So let's turn off the autopilot and get ready to manually fly. We'll go for 10-degree of flap. Speed is still coming down. We are 1,500 feet. Let's get our standby fuel pumps and PTUs on. I believe everything else is ready to go. Alright, let's drop the gear. And we'll go down to 15-degree of flap. We're picking up the glide slope now. Still got to continue this descent. There we are, we're on glide slope. Let's try and maintain it now. And we'll go full flap. Nose comes up. May have to adjust the trim. Okay, no. I need to concentrate on flying the plane. I'm pretty happy with this. It was quite a steep beginning of the approach. But now I just sort of need to manage the power as we come down. Give it a little more. We're at 108 knots, dropping. 104, and then the power's coming back up again. Okay, and flare for the landing. Oh, that was a bit tough. We're in reverse mode. I'm not impressed with that landing. And we'll come off the reversers now. and jump on the brakes. Now, I've still got a lot of practicing to do with this aircraft. I think I've only flown it 3 times. Go, and we'll just take a right here and park in this little aviation ramp or whatever it is. There we go, we'll apply the parking brake, we can shut off our fuel pumps. We can then go ahead and start the engine shutdown procedure. So we'll bring these back to start and feather with the throttle in disconnect mode. We then need to leave that there for 30 seconds to let the engine start spooling down and cooling down. They should be in taxi and we shouldn't have our lights on anymore. We'll chuck our strobe off, but our red position light on. Let people get up. And other than that, I think we're doing pretty good. Just wait for the engine to cool down. And then we'll drop them down into the fuel off position. And we'll bring the flaps up at the same time. And there we go. That was a landing in Fiji. Because of the fog, we didn't manage to really see much of the scenery, but there's some fairly nice terrain. Quite big mountains actually. If we were coming in from the wrong angle, that could have been pretty bad. Right, let's open up the doors, let our passengers out. There we go, and we'll go plugins, FSEconomy, and finish flight. There we go, so total flight time is 1 hour 40 minutes and we still had 540 gallons of fuel on board. So we packed over double the amount of fuel that we needed. But hey ho, that's fine. Let's bring up FSEconomy again. So just to recap, we flew from November Victor 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 to November Foxtrot Foxtrot November, which was 522 nautical miles. If we have a look at my cash balance up here, currently is 0. When I refresh it, it will show me how much I've made in this one journey. There we go, nearly $17,000. So a couple of grand more than I was expecting, which I'm very happy about. Let's go into the log and take a look at what that was broken down into. So we paid $8,000 in rent for the aircraft, which is absolutely fine. We paid $2 grand in fuel and a ground crew fee, no booking fee, which is good because at some airports that can be like 8 grand's worth of booking fee. And yeah, we made 37 grand in income with a $17,000 profit. If I now go over to my banking and set this to 0, we've got $95,000. Now I mentioned earlier that I saw a couple of Cessnas for about 160,000, so I've got 65k to go, and then we should be able to afford our first plane. We don't have to rent them anymore. We probably still will, so we can get access to some others, because the Cessna, while I do love it, it's quite slow, it can't carry very many passengers, and it can carry even less cargo. But for me, it is 1 AM, so I'm gonna hit the hay I want to thank you all very much for watching. We've done a pretty good flight here, and I've got the overlay on again. Go away, please. It's like the 4th time I've done that tonight. I'm getting sleepy. But yeah, I want to thank you very much for watching. I've flown from Vanuatu to Fiji in this Dash 8 Q400. If you want to see more, you can subscribe. I've done quite a few videos. My latest one was in this Dash 8 using FSEconomy, where I also screwed up the landing, just like this one. But if you want to watch that, go ahead and do so. I would very much appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.